Antonio Gutierrez comes to Russia at summit BRICS. Why, what is it, and how many BRICS left after it? After all, Moldova presidential ballots ins and outs. What does it mean for Ukraine in particular and UAE in general? Good afternoon. These topics in more detail in our daily episode with me, Enrique, and UATV English, doing our best to bring the hard truth in easy terms for the whole free world directly from Ukraine. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres arrived for an unannounced, I wonder why is that, visit to Russia on the first day of a three-day BRICS summit. Why? Well, whatever Gutierrez thinks he is doing, the fact is it just denounces efforts of international society and shows somewhat relative nature of the political isolation of Russian dictator Putin. Gutierrez declined Ukraine's invitation to the first Global Peace Summit in Switzerland, but did, however, accept the invitation to Russia from war criminal Vladimir Putin. And war criminal Putin will meet him on the summit's final day. John Kirby, White House National Security Council communications advisor, commented to Voice of America that due to Russia's isolation on the global stage, Putin certainly has to take radical steps to prop up his currency and to keep his war economy going. And obviously, Putin's currency is overall these 22 leaders from Russia expect in the city of Kazan, including Chinese President Xi Jinping, to attend this very summit, BRICS. Guterres has consistently criticized Russia's actions, has repeatedly called for what he said to be just peace that respects international law and Ukraine's territorial integrity, stating that Moscow's ongoing criminal war in Ukraine sets, I quote Guterres now, a dangerous precedent for the world. I wonder what precedent does Gutierrez's visit to Russia set? Well, obviously, it damages the UN reputation, but same obviously, since when has the UN actually cared about such a trifle as reputation? Money and power. That is what unites nations, at least according to Gutierrez. Alongside the meeting with Comrade Gutierrez, Putin plans to hold bilateral discussions with other peace lovers, including Narendra Modi of India, China, Xi Jinping, Turkey, Erdogan, Iranian Masoud Pezeshkian, and Palestinian Mahmoud Abbas. These meetings underscore Russia's efforts to maintain and strengthen ties with countries and leaders outside the Western sphere, exactly as John Kirby said to prop up the rubble, using the BRICS summit as a strategic platform to push back against diplomatic and economic isolation. And it also shows that autocracies and dictatorships, and also countries that like to call themselves democratic but in no way are such, unite much faster than the United Nations can, and actually should. Like, for example, recently did Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva cancelled his trip to BRICS summit in Russia. It happened right after Putin declined to attend the G20 summit in Brazil, where he could face arrest under an international criminal court warrant. However, indicted Russian Tsar stated that the ICC's warrant is easy to bypass. He said, "Sure thing, but still Putin did not take a risk in trusting himself and did not go to Brazil." Too bad, actually. Looks like Brazilian president has all it takes to be called a leader with a potent political will. And it would be fun to watch Antonio Guterres' face getting ready for his next unannounced visit to Russia if President da Silva would actually just arrest dictator Putin in Brazil, somehow forgetting to fear the escalation like the rest of the mighty world prefers to. The first part of the presidential ballot in Moldova has ended. The current president Maya Sandu, a pro-Ukrainian and European leader, and the former prosecutor general Alexander Stoyanaglo, standing for Comrade Putin, have made it to the second round of the elections. At this point, Sandu won 42.5% and Stoyanaglo almost 26% of the votes. In total, over 1.5 million voted. In Moldova, that is 51.68% of the whole nation. In easy terms, it is a failure for all of us, Maya Sandu, and for Europe and for Ukraine. It was important for all of us to stay together and show that European values prevail over Euroscepticism. We did, for now, but barely. Sandu's team said it will have an upper hand of 70% or more, and in fact, Sandu won the election on the verge of losing it, only an overweight of 12,000 of Moldovan diaspora voters in Europe gave her somewhat an upper hand. You only think about it. Only 12,000 in all Moldova of 3 million people secured her win. And that is at times of national pro-con European way referendum looming in the same horizon of unpredictability that Sandu and her team are dwelling in right now. And those 12,000 people do not even live in Moldova, they live in Europe. That is a major, major vulnerability, and of course, Russians are using it, or better said, abusing. They're trying to challenge the elections as such, to find excuses to annul the ballot, to denounce it in any way. Nothing new. Moreover, this is a normal struggle for power. And one more fun fact about the ballot. Everywhere it goes, the Kremlin is using one and the same tactics, always, trying to kill the idea of freedom as such, by abusing the options that this very freedom is providing. The very facts of the ballot, the very idea of stating your civil choice is exactly the main European value and what the EU stands for. It is the essence of the freedom of choice and a core human value. And human value means anti-Russian value, as Russian way is a dictatorship and regime that decides for you how you live and how you die. Russians call that stability. The second round of elections will take place in 2 weeks, November 3rd. We'll keep you posted about it. Saying my goodbyes for now. Thank you so very much for your precious time. It was me, Henry Keane, and my team at UATV English. We did our best to deliver the hard truth in easy terms for the whole free world directly from Ukraine. Please like, subscribe, and return. Comment. Your voice matters as it helps Ukrainian voice to be heard worldwide. Stay safe. Tune for more on UATV English already tomorrow. Goodbye.